welcome to another video about Office Karate. My name is Sensei. I'm here to teach you about martial arts so you can get fit, learn to defend yourselves, probably become a pro fighter, just like I want to be. In this video, I want to talk to you about the UFC, how you can make it there, and everything that's been happening this year in 2025 so far regarding the UFC. So first, I want to talk about how you could make it. So it's always been my dream to become a UFC fighter or any pro fighter at least. And since I've finished high school already and I'm heading to go to college this September to study sports, so I've been thinking I'm going to need a job to start at. There are several jobs you could start at, so you could pay for your training for MMA and then enter the UFC. A, a good example of a job is like those working in security, because then there you can get combat training for when you enter the octagon. Another example is working in a zoo or some shop, because then you can learn some skills and earn some money. I've heard this from another UFC fighter. I forgot the name now. And the last example, probably the best one. You could probably even become a coach or even teach classes. Like me, I'm studying to become a mixed martial arts teacher myself at college. So maybe once I get the degree and then go to uni, graduate, I can probably start teaching classes myself. You can even tutor other students in martial arts, because with this martial arts teaching, you're also getting your own training. And another way to make it is to build your own fighting style. Pick martial arts that you think would be effective for you as an MMA fighter. I think one striking art and one grappling art. Good examples of striking martial arts that would work for MMA includes boxing, kickboxing, and Muay Thai. In where I live, with Portsmouth, England, we have gyms like the Hard to Portsmouth Boxing Academy for boxing and Gym 01 for MMA, or even kickboxing and Muay Thai. You need to master the striking parts for the punches, kicks, elbows, and knees. For the grappling part, you can try things like wrestling or Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Wrestling for the takedowns and clinching, and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu for the chokes and wrist locks. I suggest doing half a week striking and the other half a week grappling, because then you have a good balance between striking and grappling. Though some people may be primarily strikers, like Alex Pereira, whereas others will be primarily grapplers, like Islam Makachev. And also, try and be entertaining. Try and use your fighting style to put on a good show during the fights, because if you're making it boring, you're reducing your chances of being accepted. Because Dana White's looking for the best fighters, the ones with the best skill, and also the ones who are the most entertaining. And with the methods of how to get into the UFC out of the way, I want to talk about what's been going on recently throughout this year, 2025. So, so, so at the start of 2025, I started to feel as if the UFC have fallen off, because because there were some pretty boring fights, like with Alex Pereira and one of his opponents. Alex was just throwing headshots, not mixing them up with like body shots and stuff. And also, Dana White introduced this thing there called Power Slap. That thing should have never existed, in my opinion. It's where the fighters there would just go stand on pedestals and try to slap each other until one of them had got knocked out. That was probably the worst part of the UFC. However, there were also fight nerds introduced. And even in March, there was the first fight between men in the 2000s, born in the 2000s, the youngest UFC fighters so far. I saw it on their WhatsApp channel. It said, "Are we getting old?" Also, remember John Jones, the former heavyweight champion, the Duck? I found out he had been ducking from Tom Aspinall for a year and a half. He had been doing this recently against Francis Ngannou, and Francis ended up getting stripped of his heavyweight champion title, and ended up leaving the UFC in like 2022 to fight in the PFL, where he made more success and tried boxing in top rank, I think, but lost to Anthony Joshua. That fight was huge when I was in year 10. Also, also regarding Tom Aspinall as the new heavyweight champion, one thing's for sure: if I do become a professional fighter, I hope to meet him one day and get to know him. I hope to train with him. He's become my new favorite UFC fighter. And also, there's become a new pound for pound champion there. It's Ilya Tapura, because he recently beat Charles Oliveira, and it was very emotional. Charles was very emotional. He was very happy for Tapura. I think he made a post about it on social media. But honestly, both of them were amazing. But honestly, it would have been better if Charles didn't drop his hand. And let me know what you think. What do you think of the UFC? And if you did end up enjoying this video, please consider leaving a like, smashing the subscribe button, leaving a comment, sharing this video with your loved ones, turning on the notification bell for future content. And also, on July 14th is going to be my 16th birthday. So wish me happy birthday for my sweet 16th. Anyways, sayonara.